Hello, kia ora, g'day. I'm Philip Duncan from Weather Watch TV on YouTube with your Australia-only weather forecast right through until Sunday, recorded on Monday, the 3rd of November. Hope you had a good weekend. Let's have a look at the very busy satellite map this morning, and we've got this large area of low pressure in the southeast. We've got a new forming low pressure area in the west, but it's this line of convergence right up into the Kimberley that's producing this large thunderstorm outbreak, mostly in the Northern Territory, but now starting to spill over into parts of Queensland as well. So we've got some useful, helpful rain coming from this system, and it stretches all the way down into parts of New South Wales, although not as much in New South Wales at the moment, but there is some rain streaming along through there. And if you look at what's going on in Victoria, you'll see some very heavy rain sort of moving through, expanding out, because it's running into high pressure out towards New Zealand. So while there is a large low spinning around here, it is not moving especially fast, and so that lifts up the rainfall totals, especially into Victoria as we go through today, but also into parts of Tasmania where we've got isolated thunderstorms moving through, and then the colder change sweeping back behind it, also producing some showers and squally kind of conditions and isolated thunderstorms around parts of South Australia. And the last feature, a few thunderstorms here, coastal parts of Queensland. Most of those are moving away, but a few of them lingering around as we recorded this video this morning. So let's have a look at the air pressure, and it's not hard to miss the very large area of low pressure in the southeast. So as we go into this evening, there is a cooler, colder southerly going all the way up into the tropical north of Australia. So you'll be feeling the humidity easing and the temperatures dropping in a number of areas as that southerly goes right up to northern areas. High pressure in the brighter shading, so we've got high pressure south and southwest of Australia pushing in, so that southerly really coming into South Australia as we go into this evening. On the other side, still a northerly flow coming down the eastern side of the country, and that is feeding into the low and producing some of that instability with thunderstorms that we're seeing. And large lows don't always mean stormy conditions for everybody. In fact, the larger the centre, the calmer it is in the middle of it. So we're not seeing a huge amount of wind, unless of course that comes with one of those thunderstorms. Then it can produce a significant downdraft. So we are monitoring a few things today, but low pressure in the southeast and low pressure in the west, those are the two main areas to focus on. So as we go here into Tuesday, what you'll find is the low pressure zone that's spinning around Tasmania. It's got this polar boundary. Now that's detached from the main area further to the south, so it's a bit weak, but what it does is it produces heavier downpours and showers within that zone. So you could get thunder or hail as a result of that. And the temperatures are down here on Tuesday, all the way from South Australia, right over to the border of New South Wales. That is this temperature drop coming through, windy weather along the southern coastline. And for the Melbourne Cup itself, it looks like showers and a temperature only in the low teens, 13 or 14 degrees or so by the looks of it, as we go there into the afternoon. That cooler airflow moves further up into New South Wales, so we do see rain and some heavy showers with thunder possibly coming into the ACT and southern parts of New South Wales. But the further northwards you go, the more most of that tapers off. And then of course you run into the next area of thunderstorms here in Queensland. So that might straddle the border a wee bit into New South Wales. You might get a few of those thundery downpours coming into New South Wales, but most of it is pushing further to the coastline and further into the tropics here around the top end and the far north of Queensland, while the next low in Western Australia deepens a wee bit just offshore, and that also produces a warm, humid airflow producing showers and thunderstorms as we go through into Tuesday, while just south of it there is high pressure pushing back into South Australia, bringing you slightly cooler nights as we go through the next couple of nights ahead. By Wednesday, the high pretty much over Kangaroo Island and Port Lincoln and Adelaide itself, so lighter winds for you. Still could be a couple of showers hanging around there, and we've got westerly winds blowing around Bass Strait, so into Victoria itself, still a few showers, but most of them are starting to ease back as the high pressure system moves towards you and starts to lift up the air pressure. But as it does that, along with the low that's to the south, that drives in windy weather. So I'm sorry, Tasmania, you're back to windy west to southwesterlies with gale force winds in exposed areas, and the polar boundary coming back up, bringing you a wintry Wednesday for those of you in Hobart and Lonnie and everywhere else. Further into New South Wales, lighter winds, still a bit cool maybe in the morning, but a mostly warm day on the way and dry skies. Fairly dry in Queensland, most of those showers evaporating. Still got the usual thunderstorms around Darwin and the Kimberley, but of course, the next main system, that very large low around Western Australia. And like I said before, large lows often have a calm centre to it where it's not as windy. So the windiest weather around the outer edges, you'll feel that in the outback, you might feel it in some coastal areas, both to the south and to the west as that low spins around. And then a line of thunderstorms, potentially severe thunderstorms inside that system. So you might have light winds, clear skies, then the clouds build up, you get a thunderstorm, and you might also get some very gusty winds as a result of some of those downpours that do develop there around Western Australia. Let's go through to Thursday where the low drifts from Western Australia and into South Australia. So this is like a roundabout in the sky with different temperatures coming through. So ahead of it, hot northerly winds pushing right down over Adelaide itself. On the other side around Perth, southerlies coming up, temperatures are down. So the low is like this temperature mixer. Northerly winds for South Australia, southerly winds coming in for Western Australia. A few things going on there, and that's why you're seeing these heavy downpours, especially in Western Australia with thunderstorms as a result of that. Whereas on the eastern side, pretty quiet, much drier, winds are light, skies are pretty much sunny. As you go further down to Victoria and Tasmania, more cloud and a few showers around, but nothing too much really going on there. As we go to the end of the week, that low now moves into New South Wales and parts of Victoria. Now behind it, a cooler airflow once more comes back into South Australia as a windy southeasterly and more of an easterly for the southern half of Western Australia. The northern half has showers and thunderstorms in another area of low pressure, not really spinning very much in there, but thunderstorms and showers lining right up. This really ties in with the negative IOD that's going on at the moment, which produces more showers in the northwest, central and southern parts of Australia. So low pressure moving eastwards, but ahead of it, the windy, warm to hot north to northwesterly winds kicking back in. So inland areas, mid to late 30s. We might even see some areas in Queensland going into the 40s as that heat really starts to push down. And it's a windy day in New South Wales, the ACT, and maybe even some eastern parts of Victoria and southern parts of Queensland. So this weekend, those winds ease back, a wee bit of low pressure now into New South Wales. That'll spark a few thunderstorms, potentially severe, but maybe not overly widespread. It also could get quite windy around the mountains going into Victoria. Might be gale force conditions around. It's too far out to really lock it in. But with the low pressure zone just north of Sydney and high pressure south of Adelaide, puts the squash zone right over the top of Victoria and even maybe around the ACT, southeastern parts of New South Wales. And at the same time over Tasmania, more rain is coming through for you. And the other area with rain in the Kimberley and around the top half, especially the top half of the Northern Territory, but really much of the Northern Territory, seeing showers and thunderstorms on Saturday and again into Sunday as the next low forms over central, midwestern parts of Western Australia. So what we're seeing with that low in Western Australia, the other low here between or on the border of Queensland and New South Wales, is a real lack of high pressure over Australia itself. There is a big high here coming into Tasmania. By the way, Tasmania, here on Sunday, you're the only part of the country that has high pressure actually over the top of you. But really, most of the mainland doesn't have any high pressure other than the edges of it here in the very south. So that means there's a lot of instability coming through, more thunderstorms, more showers as low pressure dominates Australia. And here is your rainfall map as we look out the next 7 days, taking us through till Sunday. Most of that wet weather into Victoria, Tasmania, and also the top end. And elsewhere, you're seeing showers and thunderstorms and some rain moving through. So hopefully, it's a pretty good forecast for most of you. If it is, tell me. If it's not a good forecast, please tell me and tell me why, because it's really good for me to know so that I don't keep saying more great weather when you're going, this is terrible. So it's always helpful. That is all from me for today. I'll be back again tomorrow, Tuesday, with your next Australia update.